Terrible happy talks. Terrible happy talks.
Yeah, good to be here, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, go there. Dude, I'm pumped.
Submissive dominant lifestyle. Go. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's do this.
Today's guest is Sam Giles. Now, I want to say that Sam is one of the best skateboarders in Australia. However, how can we measure this? And I've been thinking a lot about it throughout the last couple of days. And, do we measure it through competition results, video parts, sponsorship deals, style, consistency? It's so subjective, like trying to grade an artwork, for example. And that's why I love skateboarding, because it is subjective and it's personal to each different person. So either way, Sam still ticks all of those boxes and that I just mentioned. But moreover, in my opinion, it's the high level and intensity that Sam has sustained over such a long period of time that really puts him up there with some of the greats to ever do it. He just released an independently produced video part full of bangers, and it just bleeds pure dedication and commitment. So this week, Sam is with me live and in person at Kingpin Skateshop to check in, share journey, experiences, challenges, and hopes for the future. And he's an MMA fighter as well, Mr. Sam Giles. Welcome, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for
for
coming,
having me
man.
back.
I'm so stoked that you're back, man. And it would be remiss of me not to mention, and a big shout out to this week's co-hosts, Mr. Ryan Grant.
Evening.
And Mr. Marlon Roche.
Good evening.
So, thanks for being here, gentlemen. I'm so grateful, and thanks for the pizza, Marlon.
It's not a problem, man. Not
Yeah.
a problem.
So-
Pizzeria 50 shout out.
Dude, oh wow, yeah.
Respect, man.
Free pizzas, dude. I'm hitting them
Forever.
up. So listen, Sam, man, I loved your new video part.
Thank you.
And I just want to know, it's just such a beautiful part for so many reasons, and especially to people local to the area, I think can really resonate with it because they know the
sure.
spots and the people
Yeah.
and the dedication that it's to, which
Yeah.
is really, really special. But I guess what I want to know is what trick in that movie was really personally satisfying for you?
Probably one of my faves was just at Dapto Skate Park, actually. Like a back nose grind or kind of over crooky thing from the big ramp into the little ramp. Just because Dapto's been there forever, the skate park, and it's, I'm proud of that trick. That was scary. And that was a mission trying that.
Yeah, I was there that day, and
Yeah.
we were there with little Kieran Woolley, who was
Yeah.
pre-Kieran Woolley.
Yeah, fully.
And yeah, it was sick to see Sammy and him feed off each other because you've never done that trick grind,
No. Yeah.
let alone that heinous skate park.
Yeah. Yeah,
Big. It's got big transitions.
Big coping, you got to lock in.
for sure.
And the
Yeah.
crust.
Yeah, me and Kieran were feeding off each other for sure. Yeah, he got me psyched up. But
I think that's the only time we've been at Dapto in the last 15 years, Sammy. And we probably wait another 15 maybe.
yeah, I don't think I've been back since that.
So good, dude. Yeah, it's a great part, and the thing that was really standing out to me personally that stuck out was that flat rail that you hit at Port Kembla Beach.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, I was going, over the years, I've walked past that rail going for a surf, and I've looked
Yeah.
around, what if that's doable? I'm like, maybe put a little kicker, a little jump ramp to it,
Yeah.
because, it's that high. Would you say it's over your waist height?
Yeah, it's somewhere up around there.
You reckon?
Yeah.
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 Because, when I seen that, I was like, no way, I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I had to work for that one for sure.
Did you?
That was 3 different days of trying that over.
How many hours at a time, you reckon?
Not too long each time I was there, but first time I went there, just me and Stoich, who filmed the whole part pretty much, and Granny as well. But the first time it just started raining as I was kind of just getting into it. It was starting to work, and then started raining, and I knew it's done now. But Stoich was like, nah, dude, you got this. You're so close. Just have one more. So I had one more, slipped off straight away, copped it to the ribs, and then that was me done for a month or something, really. My ribs were pretty messed up.
Wow.
And then, went back a second time. The second time I thought, for sure I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Waxed it up a bunch, and then waxed it too much, and kind of whipped out, tried to correct myself, landed on my face. and then had to go back a third time, which was like months later. But
Yeah.
yeah,
You kind of bashed your nose and grazed your chin.
yeah, just like full scorpion. It was like I was right at the end of the rail. I'm like, yes, I've got this, and then just on my face.
It's special, and like me and Ryan were talking about it yesterday or the day before, and he was like, yeah, it's high and it's grippy, you know.
Yeah,
Is this aluminium?
it's that
It's aluminium.
soft aluminium, so you have to wax it.
So you have to wax it, which then makes it dodgy, and then sometimes the wax
Yeah.
rubs off, and then you get a little grippy as well. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I think like the salt from the beach as well actually adds to it as well. It just makes it.
Yeah,
like,
no doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Have you seen the one, Marlon? You seen it
I'm not sure, honestly.
in
I can't-
IRL?
No,
Or-
not IRL. Sorry, not IRL.
It's
And it's
freaking
funny.
scary.
It's funny how spots can seem really different on a camera, and then you go there and you're like, my goodness. Like the nollie flip at the Port Kembla kicker, that spot is like gnarly. Has considerable gnar factor, and and it's funny. Like sometimes it doesn't show it as well in footage, but that angle articulated the spot really well, and you could see like the ferocity of it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
but yeah. But
Yeah.
man, those aluminium rails. Think about a bike like sitting by the beach. It just turns to a rust bucket. Like,
Yeah.
That paw kicker has a good story too, doesn't it, Sammy?
Is that with the nollie kickflip?
Yes.
So
The nollie kickflip.
True. Yeah.
can we
yeah.
just for those that may have not seen it? There's it would be like a driveway.
Like a loading dock. type.
Loading dock
it's a loading
to
dock
small gap, but it gradually gets bigger, and
Yeah.
then it's onto a road, but it's just rough in every way, right?
Yeah, I've taken some gnarly slams there, just like not even close to being at the kicker, just like rolling down. I'm still like 5 meters away from where I'm doing the trick, and I've eaten shit, just like hitting a crap. Yeah, it's just that type of spot. Like, yeah.
So how many attempts did that nollie kickflip take?
Dude, that was a mission as well. I was like, trying all arvo, and then I was spent, like my legs were done. That was like 100% my last attempt, the one I landed. I was like, I literally can't walk properly now. My toes were cramping up, like, and I was like, when I went for that one, I knew, like, I wasn't even expecting to land. I was just like, I don't care what happens. I'm just like popping, and then rolled away somehow. But
the blackout.
yeah, the blackout. Yeah.
Like I mentioned at the start, you've been doing this for a long time,
Yeah.
right? At a high level, and putting yourself in these situations and battling. Do you love the battle?
I do love the
do
battle.
love the
yeah.
battle.
Yeah.
What do you love about the battle? Obviously, landing the trick. That's a really obvious answer, but
Yeah.
what
for
else do you love
sure.
about it? Can you break it down when you're in the thick of it?
Well, I think like I'm kind of at my age now. I'm not going to try something I don't know I can do. So there's just like that feeding me the whole time. That like I know I can do this. It's just you just got to like push through. Like, and half the time it's not even the trick that's the battle. Now it's like, you know, I'm not getting paid to skate. Like I'm doing big hours at work, night, day shifts, and then the time I do get to go out and try something, I'm like, I'm already spent from working all week. So it's like, you know, like,
And that's actually something I want to ask you. It's like, well, what was the main drive and purpose for producing this video part? Like, really, it's an independent production. From what I understand, you don't have any major sponsors at this stage. You've had major sponsors over the course of the years that you've been skateboarding, but so is there any underlying motivation for it, or is it just for the pure love?
I feel like it's just pure love for me these days. Like,
So it's not a sponsor me tape?
I mean, I was hoping that maybe some sponsors would come out of it, and maybe it still could, but I feel like it's having just released it without any brands attached to it has actually like been a better like reception for it. Because I feel like whenever there's a brand attached to something,
An expectation.
well, there's an expectation, but some people, even myself, you feel like you're getting sold something. Like you're trying to sell people something. Where this is, I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is just me and my mate Stoich that both work full time. There's no brand trying to sell you anything. It's just
I'm like, my man crush is growing on this. I'm sorry, it's so rad. Like, it's so, in this world of people trying to sell shit, like myself included, it's just so nice to hear, dude. So thank you, man. And like, I think like, I just got goosebumps as you're saying that because, and I really hope younger crew hear this as well. You know, if you don't have the love for this thing, this wooden toy, you got, there's nothing else. You know what I mean? And kind of then delves into like what's the purpose of our life as well, and life is about passion, right?
for sure. Yeah.
True.
I see it more like a time capsule too. Like this is Sammy's skateboarding right now. Like I've known you for a long time, Sam, and gone from like little kid to like ripping like gnarly big rails, but your skating's coming back around to like some tech shit in here.
Yeah.
Kicky front pinch.
Kicky front hinge
On
patrol.
that ledge is scary because you come out of it with so much speed and you hit it fast.
Yeah, so do you think you were showing like, oh, this is what my skating is right now?
For sure, yeah. There was, I hadn't put any expectation of like trying to be something for anything else but me. So that's just, I think this video part probably shows more what I actually like skating more than anything, rather than previous parts. Maybe I've like tried to be something more than what I actually want to be, you know?
Because you felt an expectation.
For sure, yeah.
Would one of those expectations to be to do gnarly rails?
For sure, yeah.
So is it kind of a relief, like you didn't feel like you had to throw yourself down any gnarly rails?
Definitely, yeah. Like I don't know if I can do it at all anymore, but
Dude, you still threw yourself around like a fucking animal.
Ragdoll.
But yeah, something's clicked in my mind where I'm just like, I roll up to like even a little handrail and I'm like,
Yeah. I mean,
The risk assessment,
yeah.
right?
I don't know. In my opinion, it's got to be one of the greatest underground video parts to come out of Australia for a very long time.
Hell yeah.
Without, like you said, without any attachment, just an underground part. It's just fucking, I'm so proud to say that you're from Wollongong.
Oh, thanks,
But
Shan.
speaking of saying you're from Wollongong, you're sort of mentioning that you have maybe some plans to move to Melbourne. Is that true?
Yeah. So I'm just I had hip surgery like a couple of weeks ago. So I've been off work for a few weeks and I just like really don't want to go back to my job. So I've just been applying to houses in Melbourne all this week and just hoping I get accepted to something and I'm out of here. But
Mexican.
South of the border.
yeah.
You're not coming back then, you know that. Yeah, no, actually don't go. You won't come back. And no one comes back when they go.
Yeah.
I came back.
Granny's back.
We didn't want him back. But anyway, I just kidding. I love you.
No, that'd be awesome to be down there. It's such a good vibe for skating. Like you're always, in the city and get around without a car.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It could be a really good stimulus for your skating. Like you've just talked about, releasing this part and not kind of having maybe the same drive you have previously to do certain tricks. Maybe it gives you a bit of a different mode of operation so you can skate in a different way, which, maybe getting a bit more entertainment from as well, like getting a bit more hype from. Like obviously, I don't know what it's like to roll away from a bloody 14 stair handrail. However, I still get pretty psyched when I get a nice ledge trick. And so, maybe being able to go down to Melbourne and have that little springboard and like see where you go and skate the way you're feeling at the moment could be a really interesting thing, put you on an interesting path.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. Just like trying to move near my mate Corey Lesser that's from here. It's moved to Melbourne.
So, like, how have you planned to? So, how are they going to dig up Fairy Meadow and take the skate park? I'm just
It's already in the works.
Like, how are they moving Fairy Meadow skate park down there with you? I don't know. Like, are you going to be okay? Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be okay, honestly. Yeah. I go to Fez pretty much every day. Yeah, it's like my happy place and it's like 2 minutes from my house at the moment. So it's going to be hard not skating Fez.
how long
Dude,
has it been?
there's so many happy places in Melbourne. Do not freaking worry about it, man.
Point.
True.
So, how long have you been skating Fairy Meadow skate park since it opened?
Pretty much. Maybe since I was like 10, I guess. But
And how old are you now?
30, just about to be 32. So.
Okay. So yeah, it's 25 years old, isn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, it was 95. So Sammy might have been starting skating like late 90s, 99 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember him and Marty showing up around that time.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. So yeah, probably just missed the opening years. But
Yeah, but by 1 or 2 years probably.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, Sam, I got some listener questions I'm going to hit you with. So I put it out there on the gram and said, "Do you got any questions for Sammy?" And to my surprise, there's been like a whole bunch of questions, like some serious ones too, like legit ones. So the first one is, and I got no idea who wrote this. Wait, I've got to find it. Here we go. So someone has asked, did Keza really teach you everything you know? So put it in context. Who's Keza?
Keza's like the most OG Ferry Meadow local skater there is. Like,
Okay.
he's been there since day one.
Yeah.
He's still there every day. But
Yeah.
Keza's a legend. He's definitely taught me some tricks. He's got some tricks. But I actually remember Keza teaching me to like kickflip to fakie on the ramp, like
no
the
way,
mini ramp,
dude.
like when I was 10 or something. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty special, the bonds and the relationships. Like for Keza as well. Like he watching you go from a 10-year-old learning kickflips to
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he's definitely taught me some tricks.
That's interesting.
Maybe not everything I know.
Next one I got was, and I don't know who asked this one. Someone sketchy. I reckon Joey Lyons has asked. What's your best pickup line?
Best pickup line.
I've seen Sammy try and pick up girls. What he's doing right now, that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. I definitely don't have
all they need.
I definitely don't have a go-to line. Maybe just like get as pissed as I can.
Yeah.
It's just your general aura, mate. You got a good energy, lad.
But just not blackout pissed. So.
There's a sweet spot, is there?
There's a sweet spot.
I see.
So your best pickup line is to not be blackout drunk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get rid of all the nerves and hope.
Do you find it hard to like type though when you're drunk, like on Tinder and stuff?
Actually, I feel like it works out better. Like,
Oh really? Okay.
my old housemate actually signed me up to Hinge like a few years ago. And the first night I got like blackout drunk at home, and the first girl I like sent something to, I ended up hooking up with her, and I just like wrote "You're hot," like, and it just
That's the line.
Hang on a second. What did you say? I'm just gonna write that down.
It's transparency, mate.
You're good at everything. The next question is, and this is a legit one, right? It says, I'm going to read it exactly how it was written. When you will publish your nudes. I think they meant to say, when will you publish your nudes?
I know you've got some,
Was that
right?
you?
I'm not going to be publishing nudes.
Okay, good. Next one, and this is a good one. So what would you regard as who would you regard as the best Wollongong skaters over the years? Not just skater, but over the years, 20 plus years of skateboarding, growing up in an area. Who would you regard as some of your standouts?
Okay. Well,
Past, present, and emerging.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot. But, I hope I don't miss people though. But I'd say like Barry Strawn for sure. Joey Lyons, Granny, Adam Lingard, Steve Allen.
I love Lingard.
Obviously Ryan Baczynski. I'm having a mind blank, but
No,
there's
it's
a lot.
it's always
There's heaps.
it's
Yeah.
tough. It's tough, that question. I've
Yeah.
put that on other people in the past, and
Marty Girotto for sure.
yeah.
Corey.
Corey, Corey, of course.
What about new dudes?
Yeah,
Who you
emerging.
psyched on?
Kieran's pops up for sure.
It's almost like Kieran's not new though anymore.
Yeah.
He's just so out there.
Ty Jeffrey, he's ripping. New dudes.
No,
See, it's funny.
There's a lot of new skaters in Wollongong at the moment, though. In the regard of emerging skaters, there's been a really big influx of people starting skating. So,
I mean, Danny Campbell, true.
oh man, Danny,
too,
no
he's-
doubt, yeah.
Freak. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Now, someone else has asked, and this was actually Toby Wilson, asked, talk about when he ollies that gap, then jumped off a cliff. Ha ha. Is that true?
Yeah, that was in the Super Happy video that Granny filmed. But yeah, it was at Helensburgh, this car park ollie, and I ollied the gap. I hadn't actually checked, like, you kind of roll away for a bit, and I just thought there was like this grass hill.
Yeah.
That you can't, there's like a fence and then this grass hill. So I like jumped the fence, and then mid-air I realised there's no hill, there's just like this little cliff. And I was going like Mach 10, just like realised I could see like soccer goals like to the side of me, and I just like, I just fell off this little cliff.
Full army rolled out.
Yeah.
Like not checking his surroundings at all.
Dude.
Just like, oh, making it and
Yeah, it was actually terrifying. Like mid-air, just, oh shit. Like, yeah.
I've also seen Sammy do this, like a similar thing at Wombara. There's a out rail in Wombara with a bit of a kicker, and then it goes to a steep ass hill, and this hill has no like out. Like you land in the ocean, there's nothing there.
Or the
and
section.
he does a fronto flip over it, and we're like, sick, stomps it, turns around, and then he just like, I'm going down the hill. I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He gets 3/4 of the way down and realizes there's nowhere to go. He's like, okay, shit, I'll just go off into the grass, not knowing what's in the grass or anything.
Into the
He
creek.
slipped for like 30 meters.
Yeah, I remember like jumping off my board on that time too, and just like flying through the air. I could see this concrete thing. I'm just like, just got my ass over it and just like poo shooted through the grass.
That road is like bloody Roman cobblestone as well. Like,
Yeah, you would be like cheese grated.
Dude, it's so crazy. I was just thinking, like, I sometimes think your personality doesn't match your beast mentality when it comes to riding a skateboard.
That is a good
Have you ever
point.
been told that before?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Some people have
they?
kind of said that. Yeah.
Like, so in what way have they said that to you? Like, you're relaxed, like,
yeah.
off the skateboard.
Yeah.
Pretty chilled out
Pretty-
personality.
Chill person, but yeah, then
you got a kind soul, lad.
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Very kind soul.
It's full.
But yeah, no, maybe I'm just holding in some self-destructiveness there that I need to unleash sometimes.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
maybe that's a good outlet, though, right?
I reckon. I think we talked about that last time you were on the show. But it's like, well, what happens to you when you get on this? When you start skating? You just are you being driven by progression, or is it just like, are you trying to impress people, or are you just trying to impress yourself?
I think I'm just progression is what I'm chasing, because yeah, I'll go to Fez every day and just muck around by myself, like, and if I learn like the kookiest trick ever, I'm like psyched. Like, I don't care if it's like people would like think it's the worst trick ever. I'm just like, damn, I just learned a new trick. Like, psyched. Like, yeah.
It's nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious because like you often get referred to as like, I've had a few people say, "Oh, Sam, he's such a beast."
Yeah, right.
Have you ever heard? Like, I don't know why you like that term comes up with you, and I think it's because, yeah, just when you go skating with you, you just charge so hard. Like, remember that day the other week when it was just raining a little bit? We had a casual skate,
Yeah.
but then you ollied the Sulu, that whole Sulu bin,
Oh, yeah.
just on flat ground.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there going, like, why did he even bother? Like why bother? Like, that's so much effort.
Yeah, I feel like I got maybe a little bit peer pressured that day, but I was
By who?
I don't know, just like
Everyone was-
Stoich just setting up next to the bin already, like, you got this, and I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, I'll try. Like,
So your mate Stoich, would you say he's someone that really motivates you?
for sure, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I've known him like forever as well, and yeah, I think he just knows what I'm capable of as well. But there's no real pressure. Like, I'm not going to go out and like hurt myself for Stoich's sake. Like,
Does he ever have any ideas for you? Like ideas for tricks? Like, oh, I reckon like you should do this trick at this spot that you might not have thought about before.
for sure. Yeah, he definitely does that a lot.
I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, find spots for me, and yeah.
Yeah, and I know over the years you've filmed a lot and skated a lot with Ryan. So how did you two first meet?
We first met.
Thrill. Would have been Thrill Indoor.
Anita's Theatre?
Yeah, at Adidas Theatre. That's when I first remember seeing Sammy.
Yeah.
He was with another crew of dudes because his sister was going out with Joey Dodd,
Yeah.
and she was also working at the same shop I was working at. So it was a bit of a sort of roundabout connection. But yeah, it was like little baby Sammy, but he was already man-child then. It's probably about 12.
12, yeah.
12 going on 20.
And I remember him like trying to work stuff out and like pretty like, you know, such a grom. And then it was like a week. I remember a week specifically he turned up and he's like, what the fuck happened to this kid? And it was just on. It was on from there. I'm pretty sure it was probably 13, 12, 13.
13, 14 we're working on now.
Yeah.
The video now. So, yeah.
Oh,
Now.
was that before Steel City?
No, after.
After.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's like, we were talking about it just before we started, and we we're watching an old Tony Hawk part, and, you know, he's still skating at 50. I mean, another one that just pops into my head because it's fresh. I did a podcast with Chris Markovich, and he's 50 and he's gaining new sponsors, you know, and, you know, I was thinking like with you, you know, at your age and with some longevity, you know, I feel like maybe your best years are still ahead of you. Do you agree with me?
I
Like you're feeling fresh?
I still feel good. Like I feel like I've just had this hip surgery, and like I've had a bunch of surgeries over the last 10 years, worked a whole lot as well, and like now I just feel like I'm finally just feeling good. Like there's nothing holding me back right now. And now like this move to Melbourne, I just want to work casual and just like really focus on skating, and it'll be like the first time in my whole adult life I've done that. So
Oh man. Well, I mean, aside from injuries, what else has held you back from that?
I probably just work really.
How many days a week do you usually work as well?
Probably for the last year or two, I've done like 50, 60-hour weeks every single week. Like, and that's going from like night shift to day shift multiple times a week.
And it's physically draining the work that you do, right? Like,
yeah, so it's hard to skate when you're working that much.
What, and living out of home, you go home, you cook dinner, like
Fully, yeah.
you know, it doesn't, and particularly with daylight savings as well. You finish work and the sun's down so early. It is. I think it's a great idea going down to Melbourne and skating like a madman. But I think it's really interesting because say I'm 27 and I still think like, you know, is this my peak? Am I on the decline now of like this my skating caliber? You know what I mean? But then I saw, I think his name's Brandon Turner. He's a dude from America, 39 years old, and he switch hard flipped Wallenberg. I was like, I'm chilling, man. Bit of vitamins, couple tablets of magnesium. You know, that should be sweet.
Yeah, that dude's always ripped, man. Far out.
Yeah. So, but I think just as a gauge, like of, you know, like if you break it down, like I mean, you know, you can't skate at the same level you want to forever, unfortunately. But I mean, you know, I think still, if I had 10 years of hard skating still to come, I'd be quite pleased with that. You know what I mean? Like, and so I feel that I could still push my skating and develop my ability. So are you still keen to just push your shit and like just see where it takes you?
For sure. I think it just depends what you're skating, really. Like you can just you can't push your skating on like huge handrails forever, but I feel like ledges and stuff. Yeah,
I've always loved ledges and manuals and doing like technical combinations. Like you can still slam hard, but
for sure,
not like it doesn't put you out for a week.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and I think that. I mean, you know, it's good. Like, it's good to find things to do when you do get injured, but at the same time, like, no one wants to be stuck in bed for a couple of weeks, like after like a brutal slam, you know. Like, and I mean, I'm sure that would happen to you a fair bit as well.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's true. Yeah, little B, Brendan Turner, switch hard flip over wall.
It was like the Cyrus video. He had a good
Storm, and also Shorties. When they're riding horses.
Dude,
fulfill the dream, bro. Fulfill the dream.
Fulfill the dream was
Aragon style.
Huge.
He's interesting too because he really messed himself up like jumping off a bridge and breaking his legs, and
Yeah, right.
so it's not like he's just that age. And same with you, Sammy, like going through like something like a back surgery. And you can tell he just looks after himself better.
yeah.
I look after myself way better in my late 30s than I did when I'm in my 20s.
For sure.
So I think you just start doing that and you'll keep skating. There you go, Marlon.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's just like all of the Piss Drunks crew, right? Like all the Baker Boys and stuff. Like, I mean, like Neen Williams is an example. Like, I mean, I don't know these people personally, so I don't know what they get up to. But sometimes you can get a gauge from videos and whatnot. But I mean, even Reynolds started to get a bit older, and he still skates like an absolute weapon. But they look after themselves, But I guess you get to a point and you're like, oh, I can't party in the way I do. I think you just feel like I have a couple beers and I'm like, my goodness, like I can't get out of bed, like I need a bloody Barocca or something, like. And so, but it's funny, you kind of get to a certain age and you think about longevity in a different way, or maybe just start thinking about it,
Yeah, I think once you've had a couple of pretty major injuries, it sobers you up pretty quick.
Yeah, that can be a good point.
And that story about Brendan Turner's crazy. I don't know if you know the backstory, but he was run away from police and he jumped off a bridge because he thought
yeah, I do.
he looked at these two bridges side by side and thought it was just like, oh, it's a small gap, And then as he jumped, he realised that gap was like 20 foot wide, and then just went straight like a 50-foot drop and broke both his legs. But that's the kind of stuff that happens when you're drinking alcohol and you make these really bad choices and decisions. So you better have a sip of that beer, Sam. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, in terms of your hip injury, you're feeling pretty optimistic about it in terms of recovery.
This surgery was like really chill.
What they do?
They just cleaned it out, like shaved some bone off, stitched
Sounds chill.
and stitched up some cartilage I tore. Like I just did the splits like 5 years ago at Fez and tore some cartilage in there, so they stitched that up. But yeah, it'll move way better than it has for years once it's healed. So like it's totally different to stuff I've had in the past where it like stops movement. Right, this one's rather giving me movement back, which would be cool.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. I love that. Yeah, I want to go back a little bit to your early days, and you have been on the podcast before, and we did talk about like your growing up situation and those early days when you first got sponsored. And I really want to talk about the time that you won that skate comp where you beat a whole bunch of people like that are now quite notable, and then Jamie Thomas hit you up and said, why don't you come and hang over with us in America and hang out at Zero?
Yeah.
Like, do you reflect on that time often, or is it just in the past for you now?
It's in the past for me now, but I did for years regret.
Okay. And I'm not bringing it up to make you feel bad.
No.
But I just think like it's a pretty mind-blowing situation.
Yeah, that was like kind of maybe early 20s. And I won a big comp. Shane O'Neill and Tommy Finn were kind of second and third. And then it was like my quick flick video premiered. Like this guy Michael Drake from northern suburbs in Sydney filmed quick flick. And it premiered that night at Slam Skater of the Year party. And Jamie Thomas had judged the comp and picked me as the winner. And then that night, I saw him at the bar, and he hit me up to come stay at Black Box and hang out. But yeah, my life was kind of hectic at that time. I was just about to get married as well, and so I was just like, it felt impossible for me to just go do that. But
circumstantial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's understandable. Yeah, and I also believe in having no regrets in life. Like things do happen how they're meant to happen. Yeah. And there's always a variety of factors, right? Yeah. But it's just kind of like, I just love the fact that seeing where like Shane O'Neill and Tommy Flynn are. It's like you'll always have the fact that you beat him in a comp, but in terms of comp skating. Like, is that just completely out for you now? Would you ever go in another comp?
I don't know if I'd ever. I probably would, but I still go in like Belco Bowl Jam and like.
I know. I was going to mention that, but that's.
It's not really a comp. It's just a piss off where
It's still a comp, but I think Sammy can do a 5 to fakie in there. He'll always get money to spend on like for that night.
Boy, Cons and Jim Fowley hook me up every time. Like I could just do nothing.
Do you do that every year, the 5 out of 5?
No, he does they're fucking awesome 5-0s to fakie.
In that
But he does that, I'm like, all right, sweet, I'm out.
bowl as well, like that thing's like almost bloody oververt, mate.
It's gnarly.
Like Spider-Man over here.
You know what I loved? Like, I was with you that day, well, I was there that day, and you barely skated in that comp like, at all because you were so hungover.
Dude, I was
You would
cooked.
I watched you on the side of on the platform, just like, I'm so hungover.
Dude, I was
And then you dropped in,
shaking.
you had one run, did the 5 out of fakie. And then that was in the Thrasher video for it. Like, I was like, Sam didn't even skate that day, and you still got a trick in the Thrasher.
You got to know when to like show up.
Yeah.
He knows when to show up.
Timing is everything.
Well
mate.
played.
But I think you could skate comps, especially how like you flip and you board and how consistent you are. You could totally go on a comp and like do awesome.
It'd be interesting. I just haven't done it in years. So.
Yeah, man.
And it's comps are different now as well. Like back then, they were like, it seemed like brands were like putting so much money into them, and they'd like build the whole comp like just for the day, like build the stairs, the handrails, everything. No one had an advantage. Now it's like you don't see that anymore in Australia, really.
Maybe not like that, no.
But it's more like local skate park stuff.
Do you think social media has an influence on those things? I mean, like not in like a hectic negative sense, but like in the sense of, I mean, to my understanding, like say back in the day, like I don't know if it was pre-internet or not, but like, you know, if a brand wanted to generate interest, they'd do demonstrations, they'd go on tour, they'd drive around. I remember seeing like the 4-star team and DC team, crew team, whatnot at our Waterloo skate park, and you know they do a product toss, like they do like best trick and whatnot, and they would get their team to skate and just put on a show for everyone, and that would generate interest. But do you think maybe now because of social media and because there's so many amazing skaters around the world that we can all now see because of things like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, do you wonder if that influences how comps are like orchestrated, I guess?
For sure, yeah. It would definitely have an influence on it. Like all those ones, that I was going in, it was like invite only. There's like just like the industry heads in Australia picking like 40 dudes. And now like you could have Instagram and you see the kids are just better than us.
Marlon bringing up the point of like tours and things like that. What was you've been on some rad tours. What was your most favorite or like most memorable one?
Most memorable tour would probably be the first one I was ever on, which was an Ezekiel clothing tour in Tassie. And it was for the Skateboarders Journal. And we just travelled around like this guy, Chris Smith, Dix from Melbourne. He was from Tassie back then, but he kind of like picked all these spots, like crazy spots in the like dams in the middle of nowhere, and it was a rad tour. Like, and I must have been like 17 or something, and I was like trying hard.
This is a tour. There's a photo of Sammy ollieing off like 2 stories into a dirt pile with just a piece of like soggy ass wood.
Is that in like a weird industrial looking pocket? Like,
Steve Gourlay, amazing photographer, shot like a fucking epic photo of it.
Yeah.
I think they were all terrified for you.
Yeah. That was a burnt down Maya building, I think.
No way.
Yeah, and they'd just kind of been like digging it all up and stuff. But yeah, we just skated like some hectic spots on that tour, and I was like really going for it back then. So it was fun. Like the energy was fun. It was crazy.
Yeah. Worst slam for you personally, because you've taken some.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Hits.
I think it was this rail in Sydney, this kink, like flat 6 or something, and like I was trying to 50 through it, and like first go, I like grind the whole thing, like all the way down, get to the bottom, I just like jump off and run out, and I'm like, oh shit, like I've got this, like next go. So I was just so committed, like there was no like teasing it at all anymore in my mind. I'm like, next go, I've got it. And next go, I just like feet get hooked on the like flat part of the kink, and I just like back flopped to the bottom stair. And, like, I don't think I breathed for like 2 minutes, honestly. Like I was like running around, and I remember going and laying in the car, and like Drakey and like whoever, I think Guy Miller was shooting the photo, and they came over to me and just like, are you okay? And I just remember just like looking at him for so long, just like I couldn't take a breath. Like it was just like
Being winded is scary.
yeah.
That sounds like a proper winding.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just got smacked in the liver.
Dude, yeah, it was heavy. Like that was probably the heaviest. That was definitely the heaviest slam I've ever taken.
Dude, really? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's again like that's where I think, and like I said at the very start, this longevity and like the duration you've sustained that intensity and doing that for so long. I mean, and then working a full-time job. I find you really intriguing like that, you know. So now, look, I can't help myself. Like, I worked it out. It's been almost exactly a year since we did the first podcast together.
Yeah, right.
So I reckon it's time for you to tell that story again about the time you had the MMA fight in Goulburn. I love that story.
Did we talk about it last time? No.
A little bit.
Oh,
But
we
I want to
did.
hear more. I want to hear more. Like, tell me, like, why did... So just put in context, like, have you always been into MMA?
I do obsess over it. Yeah, I love
You like
it.
watching it?
I watch it.
I love watching it
constantly.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's what I go to sleep to every night. Is like reading MMA news.
Oh, really? Yeah, dude. I mean, I can't wait for the Volkanovski fight this
Dude,
weekend.
yeah, it's gonna be sick.
It's not over.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you like a bit of violence before bed. It's good.
dude. Yeah, no, I love it.
Sleep better.
No, yeah,
Calms you
Like,
down.
that's what I mean. Who are you? Like the nicest guy. Like, yeah, I want to see some dude get his face smashed in before I go to sleep.
no. I when I started doing it, I was living up in the mountains, and like I was so bored. Like
okay.
there was no skaters up there really.
Where, like Blue Mountains?
No, Southern Highlands, like Bowra
Southern
and
Highlands, that's
Mossville.
right. And you were living up there at the time because you had a job up there and,
Yeah,
and girlfriend?
yeah, got married to a girl that was from up there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I was there was a gym near my house, and I ended up getting into it just out of boredom, really. But then, yeah, I got like kind of obsessed with the technique involved in it, and yeah, ended up having a cage fight in Goulburn. Like,
But let's put it in context. How long had you been training before someone said to you, hey, do you want to have a fight?
it was probably like close to a year before I got asked, and then,
So they asked you,
yeah.
you were like, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready. Okay.
And then, yeah, it was probably like a year and a half of doing it. And then
Okay.
I had a fight.
Okay. And like what weight division? Was
I
there weights?
Yeah, I was a lightweight, 70 kilos.
70 kilos. I'm 70 kilos.
I'm
Yeah.
also 70 kilos, actually. I weighed myself last night on the
Definitely
dot.
not 70
Anyone else
kilos.
here 70 kilos?
No way.
70 kgs, isn't it? Nice, Will.
Yeah, no, it was a big struggle to get to that. I'm like 90 right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, so you had to lose weight for a particular division?
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah. I was still like
Yeah.
74 kilos the day before, so I had to like
Dude.
For
have-
weigh-in. So you
I-
lost that for weigh-in
I had
by,
to-
what'd you do, sauna?
Oh no, I did bathtub and then like jumpsuit with skipping rope just till I was like, I looked like a junkie. I'd lost that much
Gnarly.
water.
What's that tea that makes you need to go to the bathroom heaps? You could just hit some of that.
Green tea?
No, there's a special tea that just like makes you poop heaps.
Specialty?
Oh, no, it's
Not DMT?
you don't
Earl
you can
Grey?
get it. You can get it from the shops. I don't know what it's called.
English breakfast? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but I wonder if that would work a treat. Wouldn't have to hit the skipping rope and the cling wrap suit as hard.
Yeah, or the day before you're not supposed to drink anything because you're sweating it all out. So like,
Because the water adds
Yeah,
weight, right?
yeah,
So you got to
water,
drop. So you're,
yeah.
you're going into weigh-in dehydrated as fuck.
yeah, I was so cooked. Yeah, just like. There's photos I had to go get like my passport photo done for some reason. Like I can't remember why, but it was right after I'd just
That's amazing.
done this, and like
Might as well document it.
I looked so cooked. I actually remember like I like pretty much passed out in the bath. It was that hot. I like within like a few minutes, I'd like my whole body cramped up,
Yeah.
my hands, everything, and my coach pulled me out of the bath onto the floor, and it just like took like 10 10 minutes for me to like unwind like my muscles.
Semi like
And then you got to fight the next
style.
day.
Yeah, then I
That
had
is
to.
fucking crazy.
But then you're probably like overnight, like you wouldn't be fighting at 70 kilos, but you would have put on a few kilos again.
Oh yeah, as soon
overnight,
as
literally.
I weigh in, as soon as you weigh in, yeah, you just like
Food and
drink,
water.
yeah, eat, and then
Yeah.
I was probably
They're allowed to, that's what happens.
Feasting.
I would have been 75 again or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
What I remember, the other dude was pretty tall, yeah? So you
Yeah.
had like reach.
yeah, he was tall, lanky kind
Yeah.
of frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So wait, I'm not finished with this story. No way. So like, okay, so you dropped all that weight, and no. I want to go back. What were you getting paid to do this?
No, it was just for the fun of it. Yeah,
So-
nothing.
So no money, even for losing. No winning. No
There's
win.
nothing.
For the
yeah.
No
glory.
win loss pay.
Yeah, no, it was
Okay,
just
okay.
all for free.
So and it was and then you went to where were you? Where was the fight? In a pub.
It was in a pub in Goulburn, and it was
Right.
the atmosphere was so hectic. It was just this cage in the middle of the pub. Place is packed out. The crowd was getting way too drunk and wild. Like
Yeah.
holes getting put in walls.
Why?
Just
What?
like people like
Just from
getting
testosterone.
Vibe
psyched
was
up.
on,
Yeah, like
Dude, did
It
you?
was hectic.
My friend who's had Muay Thai fights in Thailand, he said it's really and they would fight in bars, like they'd set up a ring in the bar, and he said it's really bizarre. He said you're in there and drunk people will scream out, oh, like if you're not fighting hard enough, they're like, oh, I could fucking take you easy. Like
Yeah.
people in the crowd want to fight you and stuff.
yeah.
Did you get that?
I wouldn't have even noticed what people in the crowd were saying, but
Okay.
yeah, I think there was like some fights in the crowd though.
Just from being fired up.
The
Like,
ripple
and-
effect.
So like,
Did you come, Granny?
No, but I've edited the footage, which is gnarly enough. I think I might have been living in Melbourne at the time, but I was also like, I don't want to go see my friend get fucked up. And not that I knew you couldn't handle yourself. I'm like, I don't need to see that.
Oh, it was fun. It was good.
The attitude is key, right?
Yeah.
was it like that when you get called into the ring, busy crowd? Like, were you more nervous than say hitting a big rail?
Oh, it was probably pretty similar, really. Yeah, just that like full kind of like sweaty adrenaline, like this is terrifying type feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, did you get that feeling of like? I mean, you would have had this in skating because I think all skaters have had this where, you want to try it, but you just don't want to try one more time. You know that feeling where it's like, oh, I just don't want to do this. Like I'm scared. But you had that feeling?
Yeah, maybe a bit. I remember like finishing the first round and all that adrenaline had like dumped and I was just like so exhausted just from the mental drain of it all. And I had that feeling of like, oh God, when's this going to be over?
You're right. Like I've got to go in again. And
I gotta go.
I got to finish this dude.
So what did you do?
Finish him.
How'd you win? So you won.
I won, yeah.
How'd you win? Did you knock him out?
No, in the second round, he
Yeah.
was much better at wrestling than me, but he just like kind of made a mistake,
Yeah.
like had me kind of pressed up against
Yeah.
the cage, and he like
Yeah.
just put his head too far under my arm, and I just like
Choked you.
schoolboy choked him out.
Can you demonstrate on Ryan right now?
With full ferocity, please.
So what, like you just got his head like
No, yeah, it was like
Give him a noogie.
like this.
The backwards one so you can juice it. Yeah.
holy fuck! That was like right on my Adam's apple.
Yeah, but
I thought I was going to go out straight away.
You got to be ready.
much
mate.
tighter. It was like
Yeah.
you get this hand under your bicep like
Yeah.
that.
Is that the move?
And
Oh,
that's
and then
the
you
move.
lift him up.
What I did just then was just like that, like to you.
Trying to squeeze his head off or something.
Jesus Christ.
Full Batman style.
Did you go like after that and go, I'm going to do this again? I know you didn't, but would you like, oh, maybe I should do this?
Not really. I just wanted to like go back to full skating.
Sick.
I
I just wanted that extra bit of adrenaline.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, it took so much time, like just preparing for
Yeah.
that fight. I'm like, oh, I just want to go skate now.
Yeah. A lot of long hours in the gym and training.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just find that so funny. So after you won the fight, like afterwards in the crowd, did you go and hang in the crowd or did you just get the fuck out of there?
No, yeah, I went and hung in the crowd for a bit. Yeah, watched all the other fights. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
nice.
good.
Yeah, that little choke thing you just
Sorry, I went too hard.
No, it's all right. It's just like, fuck.
Did you talk to the dude after it? Did you like go have a beer and like,
Yeah,
hey,
we
sweet.
did. Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, he's a legend. Ryan Green is his name, but
Oh.
yeah, he's the biggest legend. Like,
Yeah.
follows my skating stuff.
Yeah,
And,
right.
Like even before the fight, he was just like, "Yo, like the
That's crazy. Then they're like, yeah, buddy, what's up? I'm gonna
And
kill you.
He was from Goulburn too, so it was like his whole family had tables there.
Home field advantage, bud.
Crazy.
Right?
and you choked his dreams out. Like, did he tap out or did he go limp?
No, he tapped. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I could see how he'd go limp pretty quick.
Well, yeah. When I accidentally choked Corey out last time I was in Melbourne.
What do you mean accidentally?
Oh, well, like,
Drunk.
yeah, we're drunk, mucking around in the backyard, and he wanted to know what it was like, so I put
The same move.
I put from behind, and I accidentally just he went unconscious. It was really bad.
Were you scared?
Sorry, Corey.
Were you scared?
It was the worst thing ever.
It's like and because it was what, like out for like 15, 30 seconds kind of thing.
Yeah, he just,
but
like,
it feels like 10 minutes, right?
I realized, like, because I was super maggot, he was super maggot, and like, I felt him go limp for a second, and I let go, and then he just like went limp, and he was unconscious on the ground. And his wife and his like little 4-year-old daughter was there.
Oh my god.
It was the worst.
Welcome to
That
Wollongong.
is so heavy.
And then
And Corey's no stranger to getting knocked the fuck out because there's clips of him looking like he's dying.
yeah,
And Sam went, "No, you need one more."
dude, that was the worst. It was the worst thing ever. I'd never ever do that to anyone again.
He's alright. Corey's fine. Everyone, he's cool.
It's just funny. Like, I was thinking, you know, sometimes like you drive in your car and someone you road rage someone, or someone gives you gives you shit in the street, and you're like, "Fuck you, man," or something like that. Then I think of like someone like you, like you don't know who you're fucking with, like, you know, just like, oh, you know, you cut me off on the road, fuck you, Sam, and then then you come out with a big smile on your face, and then just could destroy someone. Like, it's just like,
Maybe knowing is enough sometimes as well.
yeah, it's
You're
just
like, whatever.
My new rule is like, I'm just not going to fuck with anyone.
It is interesting, like training. Like you've been doing boxing, so you know, like you can like. I remember before doing any martial arts stuff, like you can kind of be a bit maggot out in town. I feel like this is like most people. They're just like can have a few beers and think they're pretty tough, but when you start training with people that have been doing it, like I've been skating my whole life, but then training with people that have been fighting or, you know, training and sparring their whole lives, you get a reality check. You're like, I'm actually shit at fighting.
Yeah. There's a girl I train with at the gym, Simona, if you're out there. She's into it. She's just dedicated her whole life to it. And I mean, to look at her, she's gorgeous and she's kind of small, but I'm telling you, man, like if someone fucked with a man, woman, size, whatever, she would destroy you. And it's like, it's good to know that she's also, because she lives such a healthy lifestyle, she's also intelligent enough to harness that energy and control it. So
Yeah,
you know, and I think that all the best people have that ability. So
Words are very powerful, right, as well. Yeah. But I guess like you know, like sometimes like if you were to, you know, commit an act of violence on someone, I think for the most part, doesn't matter what the justification is, you're going to feel really bad about it. Yeah. But do you ever get that with boxing as well? Like, do you ever feel like, you know, if you... But I mean, I guess it's a different thing, right? Like, I don't have very much experience.
I guess if the other people are there to spar and train too.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I guess I meant more like you know, the fight that you were competing in, and you're like, you know, fuck, did I go too far? Like, you know, like, I guess I just don't know what the gauge is. I guess you can't judge a book by its cover, though. Like, you know, if you had someone...
I guess it's like skating, like things that you probably take for granted that are easy would be really hard for someone else, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's contingent.
There was a girl at that gym I used to train at, Mel Perrine, and she's like a really good skier, but she's done jiu-jitsu her whole life, but she's like pretty much blind. Like,
oh, wow.
No way.
Because jiu-jitsu is all like the gentle art, feeling people's bodies, didn't matter for her. Like, if you wrestle with her, she'll fucking tap you out, choke you out, no problem. Like, she'd tap me out all the time. Like,
Wow.
And she's blind. Like,
Wow.
That's amazing.
yeah.
And that's what I enjoy about it. It's like there's a science to it as well. You can break it down, and
Yeah.
I mean, with MMA, there's even more layers. There's so many layers to that.
Yeah.
There's punching, there's kicking, there's kneeing, there's elbows, there's wrestling. It's like it's
Yeah.
choking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate it for the sport, and also just how hard you guys train. Well, they, especially the UFC guys. But anyway,
For sure.
anyway, we talked a lot about fighting there. Yeah, fight
It's a
up.
good yarn.
I haven't done it in like a long time.
Let's go and look. Let's go and look for a fight tonight.
No, Shannon.
Anyone want to fight us tonight? I'm with Sam.
Sam will short ya.
Hey, it's Thursday night shopping too. We'll go down the mall and fuck someone up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
There's some beef in those food truck lines, that's for sure. Man.
Yeah, listen, you know, it's been epic. It's like it's almost been an hour, and I just want to sort of start to wind it up, and just I know that you said you're moving to Melbourne and you want to just keep chasing the skate goal, but one other question I have for you is like, if there was no skateboarding for you, what else would you do?
Oof.
I'm really putting it on the spot here.
Yeah, it's a hard one because, yeah, I mean, after I had my back surgery years ago, I wasn't sure if I was ever going to get back to skating. There was kind of a period there where I was like, oh man, I think it might be done. But I have no idea. I have no idea what else I'd do.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's like it's everything to me. So
Yeah.
I feel like if there's just like any possibility I'm getting back on my skateboard, I'm just gonna work through it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it.
There's no backup for my mental health.
Is
You have
it?
to get into veggie gardening or something.
Yeah,
But is it? I mean, is it your therapy? Right?
for sure. Yeah. Anytime I'm got time to skate, I'm gonna skate.
Yeah. Is it where you sort out your head when things aren't going well?
For sure. Yeah, I could be having like the worst day ever, and if I can like go skating and like break through that barrier where you're thinking about like the terrible shit, and you break, like I've done it so much where you just like all of a sudden you're just fully in the zone, and that's whatever was just going on is gone. It's like maybe it'll come back once I stop skating, but when you just have to focus too much on what you're doing, like break your leg otherwise. Like,
That's true. That's true. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end it with a few interesting, really quick questions. So, backside tail slides or frontside tail slides?
backside for sure.
Okay. Kick flips or heel flips?
Oof, kickflips.
Really?
I mean, heel flips are so impressive, but I don't know.
You're a kick flipper?
Kickflips are better.
Okay. Okay.
Heel flips are harder though. but
No way.
for sure. I reckon they're harder.
It's interesting. Me and Ryan are heel flippers, aren't we, Ryan?
Yeah, man.
Heel flipper.
I love a good backside heel flip.
I thought you
he's
were a
all
kick
about it.
flipper.
No, dude,
he's
I actually cannot kick flip.
I was going to say he's definitely.
I know
a
it
flipper.
sounds weird. I can only backside flip or do like a flip.
Out of ledge tricks.
Well, I can flip out of ledge tricks, but you always have a slight rotation when flipping out. I mean, say with a back tail flip out to fakie, it's just like a back 180 backside flip.
That's what I mean. I've seen.
So it
like
works.
you did that.
No straight
you did that
kickies.
But no straight on kickies. Like I couldn't just
We're gonna
kick
have
flip
to see you
over
do
a
a straight
crate
kick
or
flip.
something. All right, it'll happen. We'll make it happen.
I would be so stoked.
I'll be
if I-
training up. I'll be hitting the hot baths and getting prepared.
Get in the sweatsuit and skip every day.
Do a weighted vest kicky. That could be cool though. Like Dragon Ball Z style.
Do you train for skating? Come on, and don't tell the truth too.
No.
Bez is his dojo though.
In the dojo, yes.
No, but like, do you
Cobra Kai.
do other stuff? Strength training, legs, because like you can fucking ollie this high. Like, what are you doing? Like, where do the muscles come from?
I mean, every now and again I'll do like a random workout, go run around the park or whatever. But I mean, I pretty much just drink beers every day.
You're just part machine, lad. You're just
Vitamin beer.
I have probably the worst diet ever.
Really? Are you telling me
tradie diet.
you really broke down the Pizza Hut versus Domino's conundrum before?
Yeah. Pizza Hut's winning.
See, this is like,
There's a spono.
Yeah. Pizza Hut, please.
Dude, should we start like a campaign? Like, who's going to sponsor Sam?
What
for
food
fuck's
company?
sake?
I know. I'm pretty sure Mike Moe was sponsored by. There was someone sponsored by Doritos, that Mexican soft drink company. Sorry, I don't know if. Anyway, but yeah, that's a sponsor, bro. Imagine just skating all day. You just roll into
Look
the
outside
local
the square. We
Man, it doesn't have to be shoes and shirts. It could be
Look at Brophy, man. He's got some.
oh
wild
man,
It does, yeah.
Wild.
wasn't he sponsored by? Was he sponsored by Audi?
He was sponsored by Audi.
How the
I don't know.
He was always posting the craziest cars on his Insta.
Can you tray flip a picnic table?
No, I can't. Yeah, Brophy definitely wins.
But honestly, I kind of feel like you could do it if you see your mind to it.
Brophy does seem like a sweet pea as well, though.
No,
he
he's
seems like a gentle giant. I don't know him.
Dude, he's a legend. Yeah, like I don't know him very well either, but he's always commenting on my Insta stuff. So it's nice. Yeah, he's cool.
He's got a good presence online. Whereas it's funny how sometimes you gauge people off their online presence, their online swagger or their online humbleness, whatever it may be. Like sometimes you can pick up little hints of someone's character. Sometimes, but yeah, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I like his little backyard setup as well.
Yeah, it's epic.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, we've got to think of ways like how you can never have to work again. We've got to work this out.
Yeah, man, we need
Let's all get together and work it out for him.
retirement GoFundMe for Sam.
Just so he can keep skating forever.
I like that. He can huck
Yeah.
for
What's the,
eternity.
they Patreons or we could set up Sammy one of those, and you could just
Subscribe to
request stuff
Sammy.
for I want someone choked out, or I want a nollie backside flip.
Dude,
Whatever your heart desires.
Yeah, this is sick. I reckon we could do
Dude,
that.
I really like that idea.
like OnlyFans.
That's how
yes,
you
for
can
Giles.
make. No,
Only
wait.
skates.
You can make a next part purely on some dudes going this is what I want to see.
Sure.
Want some Giles booty
No one's
shots,
doing
though.
that. Nobody's doing that.
You know what, Ryan? I'm going to edit that out because that's too good to put out in the public. That's a good idea. Everyone block your ears.
THT intellectual property. It's been claimed.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Marlon.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. See, that's what I often think, with this the advent of just, skaters having to use social media to promote themselves, which is also promoting their brands, which is completely necessary, understandable. They're trying to sustain livings through it. We touched on it before, but I noticed that you're not really motivated by social media. And do you feel like that's putting you at a disadvantage at times in this day and age?
I don't know, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mind.
I mean, I still post stuff, but yeah.
You're not trying to build a massive audience or anything like that. Well, you're not posting every clip, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm still kind of that old school mindset of saving my best stuff for a video part.
No doubt.
What do you reckon,
Yeah.
Ryan? And do you think that's a better way to go this day and age? Just sit on footage. It has more.
I think it all works.
Has
I
more
think-
impact. Let's ask these dudes. What do you reckon's better? Sit on footage or just post every day a clip a day?
We talked about this one in my podcast.
What do you reckon?
Sit on footage. As a demographic. Sit on.
Yeah, wait, Ryan's bringing the mic over. So we've got some of the younger crew here who. What do you reckon? Sit on footage and release a part or post a clip a day?
Probably sit on footage.
You reckon that's better? And Will, what do you
Yeah.
reckon? You think sit on footage?
I reckon it's. I reckon sit on footage because if you're posting stuff every day, that's fucking massive. If you posted a clip every day of what you posted in your part, everyone's just going to swipe through it.
Yeah.
Post one massive thing, everyone's going to watch it.
And it might not be surprising either.
Yeah.
If you're posting something every day, you're just
Yeah,
it's
if
this
so-
bloke again.
Yeah,
That's-
if,
yeah, that's
if
a
you're
good
posting
point.
something massive every single day, no one's going to be surprised by your video part.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be like, oh, it's just normal. That's
The
he just,
satisfaction.
he just switched heel flip to fucking 40 step. It's normal. No one's
Yeah.
going to take that for
It's like that Aurelien Gerard from France. It's
yeah.
man, he just posts everything he does.
That
It's
nollie
crazy.
flip today, did you see that?
Dude, it's the biggest nollie flip anyone's ever done. And it's
Yeah,
just an
And it's just, yes.
5-second Instagram
Yeah.
clip. It's so crazy.
And it's into the internet ether. It vanishes. It's
And it's literally 3 days later, it's forgotten about.
Yeah.
It's scary, you know.
I mean, the satisfaction of releasing like a part or being in a video is pretty insane. Like I've only been in, you know, a couple full length videos, and when we've been to the premieres, like the energy's pretty psycho. Like, like truthfully, I get pretty psyched when you post a clip and you get a really good response on Instagram, like just an individual clip, like one trick. People are like, that's sick, awesome. You get heaps of likes. Like you're like, oh, cool. Comparatively, when you release a part, like the euphoria is pretty intense. Like
Dude,
it's really interesting. And so for that reason, like I agree with Zane that I really like sitting on footage, you know, because when it comes like, and you can watch your own clip. Like I would always get my own clips on my phone. Like I'd film it through the viewfinder of the camera, so I could kind of watch and be like, do I want to do it again? Am I happy with it? Like I always found myself looking at a lot of my own footage. Like I don't know how that sounds, but you know, I find it would be helpful. Like you analyze your skating, you know, like
It's also what you said, like what's it called? Like someone can just be like lying and like in your comments be like, oh shit, this is crazy, but don't actually mean it. Like with a video part, like if you have a video premiere, like you can actually see people's live reactions. Instead of just being like, oh shit, this is sick.
Dude, I remember like
is it actually sick?
This is so good to hear from the young crew. I must admit, like, because they're born into it, let's face it. And so it's just nice to hear that perspective. So thanks, Will.
the team.
And Zane.
I remember with like the first video part I ever had, which was now with Granny, that we like packed out the town hall here in Wollongong. It was like the most hectic vibe ever. I was like 14 and it was just like, I'm addicted to that now. Like I wish we could do that, you know, all the time. Like
I think there needs to
every
be more.
couple of years or something. But like that was, I think anyone over like 20 definitely has nostalgic kind of feelings about that. Kind of like video premieres at a cinema or a hall or whatever.
Yeah, it just builds the culture and the community, and it's just so good. I think we need more premieres, you know.
Yeah.
There's a different energy when everyone's in a room. When everyone's in a room, like when, say for instance, that part Sam was talking about, he's going up to a big rail, and everyone knows there's a rail coming. Yeah. And they start like chanting and like smashing shit, like come on, and he lands it, and everyone loses their fucking mind.
I remember there was some like kids came from my school, my high school, to watch that video, and it was leading up to the big rail, and all the skaters are like hitting their feet on the ground. It was like, I remember the kids from my school were telling me the next day at school or next week or whatever, like they thought it was an earthquake. They didn't realize, because they don't know anything about skating. They were just like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Like the whole room was shaking. Like, that's funny.
Yeah, and you're going to remember that more than that nollie flip I didn't see today.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to look it up now, and then I'll look at it for probably like, I might let it go run twice and then go on to the next thing.
Just to, gives you a quick little heart attack.
I remember the
struggle with it.
premiere for Kill Self, and Chima's going up to like the 18 at
It was the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Everyone's like hitting their
that when
feet
you-
on the ground.
The kicky down there?
Yeah, the kicky,
So it was all the dudes, like they all filmed it as a big crew. So all the guys that were there knew what was coming.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, what the fuck is going to happen?
Yeah.
Which is rad. Like,
It's
like
just
the anticipation's so different.
Yeah, everyone knows what's coming up ahead. You're just like, oh my God, he's going to do something.
Yeah.
Like,
So rad.
so good.
You do see a lot of trends recycled though, so hopefully this, you know, the trend of having premieres and working on a really long full length will come back strong. I mean, COVID is obviously going to affect that. You can't just pack out a theatre.
Yeah.
But like,
It can be on a smaller scale. It doesn't have to be big.
That's it. Even little prems at Kingpin every week.
Yeah.
There you go, Joe.
More prems, less scrolling. Yeah, it's good. I was just thinking too, like, about I went skating with Ryan the other day, and he did a flat ground trick, like a step off, and it wrapped around your back foot. What do you call that trick? It was a step off impossible, but with the front foot.
It's like a no comply front foot impossible.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of my questions. I was asking about tricks, and we went off on a bit of a tangent. But yeah, how do you feel about bonelesses and no complies?
I reckon they're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hand plants.
I've seen Sammy do some sick, like, fast plants and beam plants. You got good ones.
Oh, cheers.
I'm
He's
just
like, oh, cheers. You will never see me do that fucking trick again.
Yeah, I haven't done one in a long time.
Hand plants, dude gets on the ground. He puts a fucking limb on the ground sometimes.
Full extension.
Can you,
Yes.
can you do
Fully
hand plants in
inverted.
bowls?
Yeah, I used to be able to. I learned them
And
on
inverted.
the monster ramp at Olympic.
The monster. Isn't that the
Oh,
biggest
we could talk
half-pipe
about that.
in the southern
You
hemisphere?
did a hand plant on the monster vert ramp.
That's where I learned them. I was just going there by myself for like months.
Yeah, he started skating vert. And we're like, who the hell are you?
Yeah, you're the best skateboarder in Australia. You're one of them. You have to be. Like, you're an ATV. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, the all terrain.
You're an all-terrain vehicle.
Cheers.
Jesus. I didn't know you could do that. I was
Yeah.
trying to... Because I was trying to get you to say, look, man, I'm not into feet on the ground or hands on the ground. I'm not into that. But then you're like, yeah, I've done that.
No.
Done it all, man.
Dude,
Damn.
there is nothing I don't think's cool. Hey, like
That's a
Yeah.
good way to be. I like that.
Well, okay. Well, what's cool? Is it when someone's expressing themselves genuinely on a skateboard?
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're just like, just learning anything, doing anything on a skateboard, like I reckon it's sick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's taken me so long to get to that because, and it's like to my 40s where now I genuinely skate because I don't care what people are thinking of me. It's doing what's coming out of me and
Yeah.
expressing myself. But it's taken me years because I've been really seeing that teenage mentality of like, oh, what are my friends going to think? Oh, this is shit, and never felt good enough, and comparing myself to everyone.
Yeah.
You know, so if I ever went skating with really good skaters, it was wrought with self-consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, and I just would love to send that message to the younger crew. It's like, don't look at what other people are doing, cheer them on, but don't
Yeah.
compare.
Fully.
You know, because
yeah.
like otherwise you just, you know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, and if
Self-doubt
it's
kicks in.
generally, if it feels good, it's going to look good.
For sure.
That's a very
If
good
it
point.
feels shitty, don't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Is that the same with art, Marlon?
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's very, a big part of it, of like making, a painting or a drawing or, I mean, anything's art, but just engaging in that process is, there are very intuitive parts for the most part. There are also like technical processes where you gotta be sharp. So like, say I might start a drawing, like, and I'll be fully sober, like I'll be absolutely chilling. I'll make very critical decisions, and then once I've done the kind of the groundwork, like the scaffolding, then you can kind of relax. So it depends on how you set yourself up, but it is kind of like if you just try to jump straight at a trick, like if you just try to jump down some stairs immediately, it might not work. Sometimes you got to warm up, like feel things out, and so I guess there's different ways of engaging with that kind of process. But I mean, the parallels of art making and skateboarding are insane. And even in even in the worlds of like sponsorships, like the art world and the world of like the professional world of art and the professional world of skating, they have really significant parallels. It's actually bizarre. Like, and I've noticed it being like studying up at art school, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's nice, man. How you feeling? Had enough?
Oh, what else? Yeah.
You feeling okay? How you feeling, Ryan?
I'm good. Can we talk about one more thing? I'm just wondering, like, is there any tricks that have gotten away from you that you're like, oh, am I going to go back and do it?
For sure. Actually, just talking about hand plants, that's like, I'm like super keen to do. I think because I was going up to that vert ramp at Olympic Park like before I had my back surgery, and I lost so much movement through my midsection because of that surgery. And now like having my hip, like needed this hip surgery for ages, now that's going to work better. I feel like I'm going to be getting back to doing hand plants, and I'm like,
You have the flexibility.
I
again.
might have the flexibility to actually do that properly again. So
Time to dig in, lad.
I'm going to be skating some vert again.
Sick.
So good.
Whip the pads out, eh?
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to do a melon grab in years. I'm going to do some tweaked melon.
Well, you can't,
So sick.
Couple method grabs.
can't reach that far down.
Yeah, my hip hasn't let me even get close
way.
to it.
Sailfish then as well.
Stalefish the other side. So
can-
I've
Sammy's always been in
been
Starfish,
able to
mate.
grab there. But
It's my favourite grab when it's done well.
Nothing beats a kickflip roast beef grab. Is that Billy Marks?
Yeah, I think it's Billy.
Yeah.
Roast beef is. I'm sorry. It is the ugliest grab. In the
okay,
world. I'm sorry.
that's maybe the one no.
I do love Billy Marks, I must say.
But like
He's a legend.
people used to like kind of bag out like Benny Hannas. Like every like comp kid would do a Benny Hanna.
Dude.
But then like Jake Duncan and Jackson.
Jake
Oh, Jackson
Dunker.
Pills is
Jackson
the
Pills.
Benihana king.
Yeah, like
No-
then
no
just like
hand,
created
Benihana.
all these variations, and it's like, dude, any trick is
Yeah,
worth learning,
sure.
because it can turn into something amazing later.
Totally.
Like,
Yeah. Again, it's the art of it. It's the
Yeah.
expression.
yeah.
Who was that Manly skater from way back in the day? Would just do Benihanas everywhere. Surname starts with a P. Oh, I'm having a mental blank. It'll come to me. But yeah, Benihanas.
Yeah.
Hey, has anyone over here got a question? You guys want to ask Sam a question? Ryan, do you want to hand out a mic? No one wants a mic? No.
No.
All right. No pressure. No pressure. Okay, all good. That's scary. Microphones are scary. They are. Oh, here we go. Zane's got one. Let's go.
When are you relearning hand plants? Because I seen you trying them at Fez the other day and it wasn't really working out.
Oh yeah, yeah, well yeah. Soon, once my hip heals up, I'll be straight back at the hand plants.
Yeah, Fez vert ramp.
Straight into the
I
deep
want to
end.
see a clip on Insta. Or
Yeah.
a part of only
Yeah.
hand plants.
Fez vert ramp's gnarly. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, the concrete scares you.
yeah.
Any more
Is it-
questions?
Is that ramp tight?
Oh, I've got a question.
Wait up, Will's got a question. Let's go.
While I've been listening to this, I've been hearing quite a bit about alcohol and being blackout drunk. It's the most black drunk you've ever been.
Excellent question.
And what happened and how?
Oh, good question.
Oh, dude, I feel like there's a lot.
No, but what's the most? Like I'm talking just bunged.
Best night out story.
I feel like there's too many stories I don't want to repeat on.
Now the can's been opened, mate.
I'm just going to go back to the last time I was fully blackout drunk. It was just at home with my new housemate Lloyd. I was fine. I just had a bottle of wine or two maybe, but I was fine. Not blacking out yet. But Lloyd smokes a fair bit of weed, and he was pressuring me to have just one little bit.
Dude,
Just have one lung beer, mate. Just
come
one.
on, man.
And I don't do weed, and I had the tiniest little bong, and just was next minute face down in the grass outside in my own vomit.
Dude, don't you know the rule? Grass then beer, you're in the clear. Beer then grass, you're on your ass.
Yeah, no grass.
Ryan
no
knows
grass.
it. We know it, don't we, Ryan?
You can use it to your financial advantage, though. If you can gauge it.
Want to get down to that
What?
fighting weight?
Yeah. Well,
What do you mean financial advantage?
well, so say you have a few beers.
Well, then you mug the person while they're passed out.
You have a few beers, and then you can just have a tiny bit of weed. So then you're inhaling less combusting materials. You get chuffed out, but you're not greening out. You're not wrecked.
No,
So-
actually, I'll tell one good story.
Okay.
But,
Okay. Keep it PG.
PG?
No, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
No, say whatever you want.
I was on a tour in Japan once. It was this for slam skating, slam skate mag, and they just put a bunch of random dudes together. We went, and I remember going to this nightclub, and me and Kieran Riley were kind of hanging out. Kieran would have been underage still. We just was blackout drunk, ended up taking some other stuff, and I ended up back at this chick's house, and she just spoke Japanese. The people in the other people in the house only spoke Japanese, so I literally had no way of communicating. So the next morning I was like, fuck, I can't get home. Where am I?
It's not a bad place to be lost, though.
It's the worst feeling.
But then thankfully, there was another dude that had stayed at the house, a Japanese skater, and he knew what was up, and just kind of chauffeured me into his car and took me where I needed to go the next day. But I literally woke up just going, fuck.
I'm screwed.
I can't communicate. I don't know what's going on.
How's the drinking culture in Japan as well? It's pretty awesome,
Yeah.
I must say.
Actually, I remember that nightclubs that had vending machines for beer. There's no bar, but you just get your beer from a vending machine at the nightclub. I thought that was cool. Yeah, so interesting. Sam, man, it's been such a pleasure, dude. And I really mean this as in a nice way, but you're a very interesting human. In so many ways. And thanks for your time and energy, man.
No worries.
I really
Thanks for
love
having
hearing
me.
it. But I ask all guests to come to the podcast with a cause they want to support or advocate for. I haven't given you any warning, but I'm just going to actually do it for you. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Yep.
So we want to advocate today for the Port Kembla DIY project that's been running. Just a great community project. I'm going to put a link in this episode's show notes you can click on, and you can actually go there and buy a T-shirt. And that money will then go towards the continued maintenance and improvement of this DIY. And for those non-skaters, like still get on and buy a shirt as well. And DIY, it's like do it yourself. It's when skaters get together and just build their own skate park from, generally on abandoned blocks. And it's one of the most community and epic things skaters do. I love it, and utilizing urban spaces effectively. So yeah, get on that. And I also want to promote the Reimagine art exhibition and photo gallery that's happening at the Project Art Space in Wollongong over the next 2 weeks. And so get down, support local artists, photographers, and be part of the community if you live in, the area, Sydney, Wollongong. So yeah, that's it. Anyone else? We all done here, boys?
There's an opening for the Reimagine show on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday.
Yes. Tuesday coming.
At 5:30 p.m.
Oh, is that the actual date?
Yes.
Okay.
Shannon's looking at us like, what?
I was like, didn't I just say that?
No, just for the actual
yeah,
night where everyone can come, but the gallery's open.
There'll
every
be
other
kind
day.
of like an event
Is
where
it a piss up?
I believe so. I expect nothing less as well.
Can me and Sam come there and fucking fight
Man,
people?
there'll be a cage just for you two.
Well, I'm not going to fight anyone. I'm going to start the fights and then I'm going to just push them over to
It's
Sam.
called performance art, boys.
That's exactly right. That's right.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, get down there.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Marlon's got some art in there. I think
actually have a
Ryan's
couple
got
pieces.
some photos. Will, you got some photos in there too?
Will's, yeah.
Epic. So it's I just love that these things are starting to happen again, with the pandemic lockdown stuff, coming to an end. So all good. All right, well, let's leave it there. Actually, do you want to end on anything profound?
Nah.
Ryan? End on profound?
Vale Fezmez, because Sammy will no longer be skating there from whenever he leaves this state. And if he comes back in the state, he has to ask if he can go skate Fez.
Just ask Keza,
Keza, if you're out there.
the
Just joking,
gatekeeper.
Sammy. You can skate Fez whenever.
You got to get your passport off Keza for Feza. Thank you,
fair.
Ryan. Thank you, and thank you guys for coming and listening. And thank you, Sam, and thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, Sammy.
Mr. Sam Giles, everybody. You
Thanks.
best skateboarder in Australia from Wollongong.
So much louder in there.